Hello, my name is Benedicta Apuama, and today I'm going to be speaking to you about career opportunities within the SDGs. So, I'm doing this in partnership with the InStride Pathways Youth Foundation that is based in Nigeria, and with the founder being Adeyinka Adegboke. And actually, this is part of their 100-day career boost initiative for Nigerian undergraduates and graduates. Come along with me. Who am I? I'm Benedicta Apfoma, you already know that. I'm a Nigerian trained pharmacist and I have a master's degree in international health and social management from the Management Center Innsbruck in Austria. I also have over 5 years of experience working in program management. I've worked with international organizations like the UN, Management Sciences for Health, SOS Students Villages International, etc. I recently won the Science Speed Talk competition at the Geneva Health Forum in Switzerland, 2024 to be precise. So that's just a little bit about me. For the purpose of this lecture, we're going to be talking on what is a career, what's a career part, what are really the UN SDGs, and how do these two intersect? How and when do you start? What next after this course? And of course, you connecting with me. What is a career? A career can refer to a profession, someone's occupation or vocation. And since we're dealing more with undergraduates and possibly recent graduates, your career can be linked to your course of study. Your career goes beyond what you study in school. So a career path really it's about the jobs, or series of jobs that a person has done. So that's what actually builds up a person's career. Would learn more. Now that we have an idea what a career or a career path is, what are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? What are they really about? So we hear about the UN. The UN is an organization, a big organization that has what we call convening power. And the reason why they have that power, the reason why they are that big is because they are made up of representatives from different countries. Okay, so these representatives from different countries came together to say, what can we do to make our world a better place? I'm talking about over 100 countries. So we're talking Nigeria, we're talking the US, the UK, we're talking different countries. So you know that the problems or the challenges that are in Nigeria are different from the challenges in other countries. Maybe the center problem might be, for instance, let's say climate change, for instance. But the way it affects Nigerians might be different from the way it affects Germans and the way it affects people in Asia. You know what I mean? So they came together to put a set of goals that these goals, however they look, affects either one of the countries or a group of the countries or all of the countries. So the idea is okay, how can we achieve peace and prosperity in our various countries? Then maybe let's set goals. So, goal one has to do with no poverty. So, what can we do to ensure that all of our countries get out of poverty? Goal two talks about hunger. What can we do to ensure that people are not starving? Should we invest more in agriculture? For people in Nigeria, they can say, okay, maybe let's invest in agriculture. People outside of Nigeria, they may also talk about agriculture, but their problems may be different from other countries. For instance, Nigeria generally has good weather. For people who are living in Europe or places like Russia, where more than half of the year the ground is covered with snow, how do they grow food? So you see, even though they are generally talking about one topic, hunger, the ways in which each of those countries will tackle this problem will be different. So that's the idea of having these 17 goals. And it's so important to know that not only do people set goals, they are not just ambiguous or ambitious goals. Like you say, okay, no hunger without a roadmap. these goals actually have targets. If you take time to read, they have targets under them, different points, different areas. For instance, my area of interest is especially XG3, which talks about health, ensuring that people have access to health. So under that, you see different areas that they align on places that for us to be able to achieve, good health and well-being for people all over the world. They talk about issues maybe like sexual reproductive health, maybe they talk about teenage pregnancy, those kind of things. And there are 17 of them. I hope you understand. I have a full course. It's called Assessing International Opportunities within the UN on YouTube. At the end of the lecture, you would have my name the way it is that you can find me on YouTube, and you can also access this course there for free. Yes, just subscribe while at it. Now you have an idea what your career path is and what the UN SDGs are. So how do they come together? Or how do they intersect? Some careers actually directly or indirectly advance the UN SDGs. It's interesting to know. Remember, I told you that your career goes beyond your course of study. Aligning your careers with UN SDGs is like giving your careers different opportunities to blossom or to shine. So, ordinarily, like I mentioned, that my first degree is in pharmacy. You would think maybe, yes, I should be working, in a hospital or community pharmacy outlet or in research or what, in the industry. But because I have found out about the UN SDGs, I've been able to still align the different works that I do while still in health or pharmacy or public health. Still, it aligns with the UN SDG 3, which talks about good health and well being. So, aligning your career goals with the SDGs not only ensures that you are advancing your personal goals or the objective of the organization that you're working for, but also that you are contributing to the global well being. All right, I'm going to explain more. Just like the So, for example I instance, gave, with the previous slide, people who are careers in in healthcare, public like health, public health, pharmaceuticals, directly who are contributes in to that improving field global health outcomes. So, if your directly, career is in I wouldn't even say indirectly, your career they falls under directly contribute healthcare, to the public UN health, SDGs 3, nursing, which is pharmaceuticals, you are health, good directly health, and improving well global being. health outcomes, which So, means your careers in the work healthcare does align with SDG 3. sector, public It's health, also and important to pharmaceuticals, they know that the contribute UN SDGs are directly very to improving interconnected. global So it's health possible that outcomes. your I work, just even told though you it's that in I'm a health, that it's pharmacist, advancing the UN and I also run SDG an 3, it can NGO also be called Girls advancing for another Development UN Global SDG. Foundation. So Let me even give if I you an wasn't running instance. an For NGO, those for who are instance, in that I'm public a health, who maybe pharmacist who do and I've majorly worked on public health community or health health projects, education, for instance, my one don't of my forget works that with management goal sciences for XDG health goal 4 involved is on quality education. working on the So national if malaria someone elimination is in plan. healthcare So what and did I is involved in do health promotions in or health education, on that the person is job or advancing during that two role? UN SDGs I at the was same sent time. to primary SDG healthcare 3, which is centers on good health and where well-being, and anti-malarials SDG were 4, which is donated on to. public health. So you So let's see say, how okay, one career for can actually instance, impact or directly advance two or even Ogwashuku three Primary different Healthcare Center SDGs. or I'm going to Ogwashuku give another General example. Some Hospital time in ago, Delta I worked State, on a let's project. say 3,000 packs It of was a project anti-malarials, on long-lasting menstruation. insecticide nets, And and this conversation about most of malaria the diagnostic sanitary test kits products were or menstrual donated to products that them. women use So I are actually go to made from ensure that, plastic. okay, Now the did world you is talking receive so it? much about How many were plastic used? pollution, Check their health records and to all of ensure that. that they actually use And them. my If team and some I of decided these to name the medications project or some of these things Green are missing, Menstruation. either We the know mosquito menstruation is not nets green, or but the the essence of using the diagnostic word kits, green did they is mistakenly get because we're destroyed, or concerned did you about it donate being them to another eco-friendly, primary being healthcare close by climate who friendly, probably needed being it because they're always environmental exhausted? friendly. So you see, by So doing this, now we're not I only am contributing advancing the UN to global SDG health 3 outcomes that has to do by with health, ensuring that we are now malaria delving is into reduced, environments and climate. right? And by ensuring We're that there is delving no into different parts wastage. now.
by
of
just
the
doing one
of
work.
the
So really,
medicals that were donated.
learning how to align your
So
career
you
with
see that
UNSG just gives
if
you
your
different
career is in
opportunities
healthcare, or
by
let me
which
give
you
another
can,
random example for a
shine your
person who
career.
is a
You can
computer
take
scientist,
advantage of
for instance, and maybe
several
you feel like,
opportunities because
oh,
of
girls
it.
in my community or
I would
young
like to
people in my
state I have a
community
full
don't know
course
how to
on
use
the
the
UN SDGs
don't know how to use the
on my
computer
YouTube, which
properly.
is why it's
Maybe I
important
need
for
to
you to
educate
connect with
them,
me. On my YouTube, it's called
IT
Assessing
skills or
International
something.
Opportunities within the UN
Now
SDGs.
you're already
I
directly
thought it wise to share
or
this because
indirectly
I am a
contributing
huge
to UN
beneficiary of
SDG
being
4,
a UN
which
SDG
talks
advocate.
about
For
quality
one,
education,
my
because you're
master's
now
degree,
educating
I studied with
people
two
about tech
scholarships for my
skills.
master's
And
degree,
depending on the
and those
skill
scholarships
that
came
you're
as a
teaching
result
them
of
or
my
that you are helping
working,
them build, you can also be
advocating, or
contributing directly or
advancing
indirectly to
the
another
UN
UN
SDGs.
SDGs.
So
Because it's
you
important to
too
know that the UN
can do
SDGs
that.
are interrelated.
Just like
So
the
it's
example
possible
I
that
gave,
what you are
with
doing
the
is
previous slide,
improving one XDG or is
careers in
advancing one
healthcare,
XDG, and at the
like
same
public
time
health,
also advancing the
pharmaceuticals,
other.
directly contributes to improving. How and when do you start? The fact that you're already taking this lecture means you have started already. So, for the how is what I'm here to guide you on. What is your course of study? What is your passion? What really do you like? What are you passionate about? And how can you align your passion or your course of study with the UN SDGs? I'm asking about your passion because I know that there's a very good possibility that what you're studying in school is not really what you like. You say, oh, well, this is what the university gave me, Uniport or Delso or Uniben. This is what they gave me, but this is what I like is another thing. The good thing about the UNSDG, like I said, or a career, yes, it can be linked to your course of study, but it is not limited to that. There are so many things that you can do. So if you can align your passion or your course of study, whichever one appeals to you most with the UN SDGs, you will go very far. There are 17 of them. So don't mind me that I'm making examples around three, four, or environments and all that. You can go and study the goals, the UN SDGs. The goals, they have targets under them. So when the UN came together, the states to create the 17 goals, they did not just make ambiguous or over ambitious goals of saying, okay, let's eradicate poverty. Like SDG 1 talks about what? No poverty. 2 says no hunger. It's okay, no hunger in the whole of Africa, in the whole of Asia, the whole of Europe, America. But how do you do that? That's where the targets come in. I am more familiar with XG3 because of my background in health. So it's not just about saying, oh, let everyone have good health, and, let everyone, have access to health or well-being. There are targets underneath. So there are things that can count as making the country not to have good health or that people there don't have well-being. It could be teenage pregnancy. It could be malaria for Africa, especially tropical Africa. It could be sexual reproductive health, care, and this is not just Africa but globally. So there are targets underneath. Your course of study or your passion may not intersect with the entire goal. It may be a target, and that is enough. So, which of the UNSDs or the targets does it align with? Who are your target audience? For the career that you want to build, who are your target audience? Are there people who are already doing what you would like to do, or something similar? Because this will give you the opportunity to study other people to say, oh, okay, maybe this is how they did theirs, maybe I should learn from them, etc. What next? Your action plan. So I'm sure, having taken this lecture to this point, you already have ideas, lots of ideas coming to your mind, and that is very good. And you also need to know that it's all right not to have it all figured out from the beginning. It's okay. I didn't have it all figured out from the beginning, and right now I don't think I still have it all figured out. I'm still learning, and
relearning or learning and all of that, asking questions. So that is it. But it's important that you create a plan. Nonetheless, please create a plan. This plan will help you identify what resources that you need. When do you need to, so what do you need to start? Do you need to volunteer somewhere to gain skills, or to gain more experience on what you would like to do? Do you need to take a course like you're already doing now? Do you need to take more courses like the course that I have on assessing international opportunities within the UN SDGs on my YouTube, Benedicta Akpoma? You can find me. you know and do you need to do some research? Do you need finances? But whatever it is, start from where you are. Start anyways, whether you have everything complete or not. Just start. And the fact that we already have tools like the social media tools, utilize those. You have so much power already, utilize them. Since we're talking about the UN SDGs, which is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, it's important that you set goals too. And not only should you just set goals, you should set smart goals, because goals give you direction, and allow you to be focused, on where you should go and all of that. So, what do I really mean by smart goals? We're going to find out. And what do I mean by smart goals? Specific. You should know exactly what the outcome of the goal is. I know I told you that you don't have to have it all figured out from the beginning, but it's okay to set goals and to think, within this context of having a smart goal. Be specific. Try to be as specific as possible. Even though, yes, there may be some turnout of events, but it's good to have a plan. Let your plan be measurable. So you see how I mentioned that, oh, they're taking away plastics from this place, to reduce breeding ground for mosquitoes, to also help curb climate change, and making beautiful artworks out of them. So how can they track, the impact of what you're doing? Your goal should be, you should be able to track it. How can you track? One of the wonderful ways is, it can be through small surveys or small research. I didn't learn this immediately, but now as I'm growing and with a master's degree, I am learning more. So, how can you track, for instance, let's say in that community, people know that they treat, or in that street, they know that they treat malaria maybe once in 3 months. But maybe since him and his friends started picking up those plastics from those places, reducing the breeding grounds of mosquitoes and all those things, now people are now beginning to treat malaria only once in 6 months. There you have it. That's your result. And how can you measure this? Simply creating small surveys. They don't have to be, all structured, everything so well done. Just having a few set of questions, to give people to answer, or to even ask them, if depending on how the neighborhood is, if it's a place that you can send links to people, Google Forms for them to fill, sure, that even helps you analyze it better. So this is just, but if it's also to just go around to ask them, and take notes, that's also something. So your goal should be measurable. If you're saying, okay, I want to be able to create something or do something or align my career path, align my course of study or my passion with the UN SDGs, how do you measure that? Maybe by successfully designing a project, or by successfully finding an organization to volunteer with during your free time. That is something achievable. You should be able to achieve your goals. So it should be, like I said, baby steps. It should be something that you can do now. Don't go put something too high that you cannot do. And it should be relevant. So will this help you on the long run? If you're doing something now, the goal you're setting now, as against the future, will it, if, for instance, you say you want to, like I said, you want to align, if the goal is to align your career or your passion with the UN SDGs, will volunteering with an organization right now contribute to the overall goal? And it should be time bound. If you're saying I want to do this, try and put a time frame to it. Okay, maybe, well, now I have exams, or I have so many classes or so many assignments to turn in. Okay, but maybe in 3 weeks after I'm done, I can give it 1 week. Set time so that you know how to track it. Wow, you're the real MVP. Yo, we made it to the end. So thank you for coming to my lecture. This is the time you connect with me. On Facebook, you can find me as Benedicta Chukwuyem Apoama. On LinkedIn, you can find me as Benedicta Apoama. On YouTube, which is very important because that's where you get the access to the free course. It's free. The only thing you need to do is to subscribe while at it. So on YouTube, you find me as Benedicta Apoama, and you can also find me on Instagram as Benedicta Chukwuyem Apoama. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you again. And remember, I'm doing this in partnership with the InStride Pathways Youth Foundation with Adeyinka Adegboki as the founder. And this is part of the 100-day career boost for Nigerian graduates and undergraduates. So, thank you again. Thank you. Bye.